One thing that people often want in strategy is some tools and frameworks in order to help them. And indeed, we have a course at Ashridge called Strategy Tools, which aims to deliver a whole bunch of tools and give those to people, give them some practice in using them. And I would think it's quite helpful to reflect on those words and think, what are they for? And what are the limitations of tools and frameworks? So first, let's think of the word tool. That means something like a hammer, a saw. The obvious limitation is it's only helpful if the person using it has some skill. And some tools are much easier to use, like a hammer. Others are quite tricky, like a saw. And then by the time you get to a lathe, you actually need to have some skill before you can use it. So some tools, again, are quite simple, like SWOT analysis. Others, like Porter's 5 forces, are a bit trickier, somewhere between the saw and the lathe. So some training, some practice is helpful, and sometimes it's even better to have some trained analyst do it. That doesn't stop you as a senior manager being involved in reviewing it, and as long as you know a little bit about the framework, that's something you can do. So that's one thing. And then there's the other word, framework. And that reminds me of things like scaffolding, something that holds something up. And I think that's also a very valuable word to describe these things, such as SWOT analysis, because it's a framework, a way of structuring your thinking, but also a group discussion. And that's why a lot of the most common frameworks and the most useful frameworks are quite simple, because they help boil down a very complex discussion, and strategy often is rather complex, and the issues that have to be debated are many and various, and provide a simple framework to help structure the discussion. In that case, what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses, what are the opportunities, what are the threats? Another thing that frameworks don't do is they don't give you the answer. So the scaffolding doesn't build the building for you. It gives you the structure that allows you to build the building. And again, these tools do not spit out the answer, but they help smart, experienced, intuitive people work together as a group to build that building, to come up with that strategy. So I think the picture of a tool and the picture of a framework are useful to keep in mind when you think about using these things, so that you know what they can be used for, but also one or two of the pitfalls.